Hi, it's Ryan from Nights Around a Table, and here we are, we're finally getting down to it. I've got a couple of post-it notes here, yellow cards, and back in November I wrote the names of 6 different projects on these cards, and I stuck them up on my wall, and I said to myself, okay, before you get distracted with new stuff, these are the do or die projects that you absolutely have to get completed, and here we are now at the end of April. It's taken me so long, but I'm on the penultimate one. So I did all the, I did what, 4 of them. I did, this one is How to Play Crown of Amara, so hopefully you saw that. Not many people did. You should have, though. It was a good game. I think you'd like it. I think you'd like playing that game, so check the video out. And then I've got one more, and this is the 6th one. This is the 5th one right here. This will be my first ever backer thanks video, which I had meant to do way back in January, but I kind of chickened out on it. So, what's a backer thanks video all about? What even is a backer? Well, I have a campaign on a website called Patreon, which you may be familiar with. If you're not, it's the kind of place where artists like me, who are nigh unemployable, can approach purveyors of fine art, and then whatever you call the kind of people who like to watch what I make, and ask them for money, and those people become their patrons, and it's a subscription kind of thing, and they pay money every single month so that artists like me can then take that money and either buy groceries or reinvest that money into equipment and facilities and whatever it takes in order to make their art and to make more of it and to make better art. So I'm pretty transparent about the way that I spend the money that I collect on Patreon from my precious and wonderful supporters. Most recently, I wrote a blog post, you can go check that out, that lists for 1 year kind of all the things that I spent Patreon money on in order to improve this channel as proof, because the videos themselves might not be proof enough. But what we're going to do, for the benefit of the people who are currently in my crew on Patreon, is I am going to assign you all animals. Now, I have to be clear about a few things. I'm not actually shipping you these animals. I'm not going to send them to you in crates or anything. I'm just going to associate you each with an animal. And to further clarify, these are not your spirit animals. That's what I originally intended, but then I learned that spirit animals is kind of like a religious thing with certain North American indigenous groups, and I don't want to step on their toes by calling these spirit animals. So that ain't it. They're just, I'm going to say your name, and then I'm going to say an animal, and you can do with that what you will. These are not your spirit familiars, because I don't want to piss off any Christians who are weirded out by witchcraft, nor do I want to piss off Wiccans. I don't want to piss off anybody, so I don't want to make any statements about sort of like a broad people group, because you know how people can be. And the final thing I'll say before we get into this is these animals, I don't want you to feel like the people, okay, there are different tiers on Patreon. There are different amounts of money that you can donate to the Nights Around a Table cause every single month. And I do not want you to think that because maybe you're a lower on the totem pole and you're contributing less money to the channel, that you're going to get some crummy animal, and the people who are paying more money at the top of the list are going to get way better animals. That's not how this works at all. I love you all equally, and you'll all get amazing animals. So here we go. In the bottom tier, which I like to call the Great Unwashed, for $1 a month, Salvador and Catherine Pena, you get a bug. I'm not sure which kind of bug, just says bug. Serena Martin, you get a shoe. It's not even really an animal, so I'm not too sure why it's on the list. Daniel Potter, also a bug. Jack Dempsey, Pika, and Gregenflaw all get an animal named Mr. Whiskers, which I know is going to sound like a kitty cat. It's actually like a small lizard. It's more like a skink named Mr. Whiskers. And I'm not entirely sure from my notes whether that is like 3 skinks that are all named Mr. Whiskers, or if that's one skink and it's kind of like a split custody thing. Greg, by the way, I gotta say, Greg in Flaw, I guess is Greg in Florida. Greg bought a 3D printer using my affiliate link on my recommendation, and I collected my pennies on the dollar for a commission fee, and he hasn't been able to print anything from it, and I feel really, really bad. And he was asking me for advice, and I was trying to help him out, and I was directing him to a group on Facebook that could maybe help him out even further, and then I lost him. I haven't seen him on Discord since. So Greg, if you're out there, please pop back on Discord and tell me how it's going with your 3D printing. I'm worried about you. I feel awful. Fernando Berdichevsky, you get one of those little fish that lives in the Amazon River basin that swims up your pee hole. You know, those pee hole fish. Trevor Allaby, it's a wallaby. Kind of a rhyming thing there. Rado, I know you're all about like the Care Bear thing, so you get a bear. This is more like a vicious bear from the wild kind of thing though, so I'm not sure you should go around hugging that thing. Just like be careful. If it doesn't have a shamrock on its tummy or something, it's probably gonna maul you. James the Coyote obviously gets a coy wolf. I didn't have any coyotes, but I did have an animal whose mom got frisky with a wolf, so it's like a hybrid thing. And Jacob Thomas gets a nice selection of cleaning supplies. The enclosure for your animal was actually empty when we went to look at it, but it did leave quite a mess, so we just have some materials there for, like, if you just muck that out before you go, that would be really helpful. The Patreon campaign. If you are one of the great Unwashed or above, that's $1 a month or above, you get some incredible perks, including participation in the Discord server. You don't actually have to pay $1 a month to be able to join the Discord server. You can just hop on there and say hi to all of us. But if you are one of the great Unwashed, I have promised as a perk that I will, if not say it out loud, at least think your name once a month in private, so you know that I have devoted some dendrite matter to at least considering your name in my brain. And if that's not worth $1, I'm not sure what is. Put my glasses on here. I don't actually need these to see. I feel they make me look official, so I want you to know that you are getting the right animal. At the Meeple level, that's $3 a month. Those are still the people who are viewing my videos from the nosebleed seats. Steve Schlepphorst gets a Horst. Omelette, aka, I should mention Omelette goes by his or her handle, internet handle. If you have an internet handle and you have an employer who has a constitutionally indefensible social media policy and you just want to go by your handle, that's fine. I won't say your real name. That's totally cool. Omelette's a very good game player, by the way. We play games on the Discord server together, and Omelette's the one to beat in almost anything that we play. So Omelette, you gotta fox, because you're a sly player. You're sly like a Ben S, the S in your name to remind me of a snake, so you're going to get a snake. Not just a normal snake, though. You're going to get a sunbeam snake. It's a really cool snake from China where like the light hits it and it goes all colors. Pretty cool. It's good value for $3. Frank Judnick gets a wiener dog, because his name's Frank. Jason Kennedy and Dave Beck, you guys are going to have to share the burden of maintaining your Indian gaur, which is like a huge cattle. And I can confirm after extensive research that it is by far the stinkiest animal in the Metropolitan Toronto Zoo. Construed gets a mink. Marlo Ekberg gets a vole. And Ekin Koker gets a stoat. And then that kind of like takes up all of our stock of small, adorable rodents. Homunculi Sue gets a hamster. So I guess we had one more rodent left. Tim Stevens, you get a dove, and Paul Spo gets a crow, which I think we should switch because Paul actually does magic, and I think it'd be nicer to pull a dove out of your jacket than a crow. Mathieu Richet, you get a box of animal crackers, which sounds like a rip, but really it's a bunch of animals, so there's good value in that. Tegan Hitta, you get a tomato frog. Be careful, he bites. Alex Goodman gets a sandpiper. Jeff Lakatosh gets a tardigrade. Those are cute. Zach Santinello, you get a fish. Which doesn't really seem quite right, because Zach was really nice to me. He had some bonus Crystal Palace cards, and he doesn't own the game, and he asked if anybody had the game on the Discord server, and I said I did, so he just mailed them to me. How nice is that? So we're going to church this up a little bit. Zach, your fish has a mustache. And Mach V, I know you probably think I'm dumb, but that's Mach V, that's how he says it, not Mach 5. That's his DJ name. Mach V gets a kangaroo rat. All right. At that Meeple level, when you're on the Discord server, you actually get your name lit up in a different color than everybody else. So people know that you're fancy. And you get access to a couple of secret hidden channels. And in one of them, I'm doing all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. So you'll know what I have coming up and what I'm working on. And I'm showing you all kinds of pictures and stats and graphs. I'll show you some stuff about, you know, my YouTube stats, and just kind of like you'll get more of a sense of what I'm up to and what goes on in my life behind the scenes, if that matters to you at all. It's a good way to get an inside track on one of the people who makes the stuff that you like on YouTube. The Meeple Plus category is for people who are contributing the same amount of money as the Meeple people, and a little bit extra. Sure, why not? Mason Coltrane, thank you. You get a bacon double cheeseburger. That's not an animal, but that used to be multiple animals. That was like at least 2 cows and various parts of a pig. Max Wogerin, I just realized now I've never pronounced your last name, Max, so forgive me. You get a penguin, like one of the ones with that all the jazz sticking out the side of its head. And Derek and Emily Viget, you get a manatee. Because I know they're just sitting at home waiting out the crisis. They're just riding out lockdown, so they want just a nice, peaceful, kind of like floaty animal. The manatee, that does it. You might have seen all these names float by at the end of each of my videos. This is something that I just started doing recently. All of my backers get a credit in all of my videos. So if you sign up, the moment we cash your check, you're going to see your name float by in front of the school bus bumper that I have at the end of every single video. The next tier is Medici, and I learned very recently how to properly pronounce that name. It's Medici, not Medici, which I've always said for my entire life. And Medici just doesn't sound right, but I guess I gotta say it that way. So the high roller is at $10 a month. We got Andreas at the top of the list, who gets a peregrine falcon. That's a very cool animal. Equally as cool as an indiscriminate bug, I think. Jeremy Miner, you get a squirrel monkey, which is my personal favorite kind of monkey. It's cute, it can sit on your shoulder. Don Clemson, you get a silverback gorilla, also a very fascinating primate. It can also sit on your shoulder, technically. Not sure you'd want it to. Jack Balagod, you get a serval, which is a very cool kind of cat. It's mid-range. It's like between a lion and a house cat, and it's got really nice markings, a little bit like an ocelot. Gary Baldwin, please accept this octopus. Brian Kovac, you get an African elephant, which between the two kinds of elephant, I just have to say, Indian and African, is the far superior elephant. Indian elephant is kind of like if you ordered an elephant on Wish. It's smaller and it's got round ears instead of the big triangle ears. It's not as cool. African elephant, world's largest land animal. It's a very good elephant. The Medici level, by the way, That's the first level where you actually get voting rights. It's not to say I won't give everybody the chance to vote on some things, but this is the group where if there's like a tiebreaker to be had or if there's a real decision to be made, these are the people who are going to vote. So most recently, I asked the folks on Discord, you know, what how to play video do you think I should do next? And they fielded a whole pile of ideas and a bunch of them were great. So they got to front those suggestions. And then what I did is I took them and I put them in sort of a ladder, and the people at the Medici level and above were able to vote those games through the ladder. And so we finally got to the end of that ladder and one game reigned triumphant over all of them. And that's the one that they think that I should make a how to play video for. And I've been hard at work on that video for the past week. It should come out next week or the week after. The Medici also voted on which board game they'd like to see me unbox next. Then moving up into a tier of 1, we have Ben McFerrin, aka DM Explains, aka Dr. Ben, you may have heard about on my channel before. Ben is at the Monarch level. I've been showing Ben some cool behind the scenes stuff that I haven't shown to absolutely anybody else. And Ben was big into track. He used to run track in college, and he's taken up running again. So I thought it would be really considerate if I assigned Ben a cheetah. But then I kind of thought better of that, and I thought, like that, if you're trying to be encouraged when you're doing a lot of running, a cheetah, the world's fastest land animal, is the last animal that you'd want to accompany you on a jog through the neighborhood. So I gave my head a shake and I thought better of it. Ben, I'm giving you a slow loris. That animal is right, it's right there in the name. Take that thing out for a 5K and you're just gonna smoke it. Put it on the ground and take off and eat my dust. Slow loris. And then finally, in the tippy top tier, and I gotta say that in the real world, there's really only room for one pope, but on my Patreon campaign, I have as many popes as you wanna put in there. So if you have aspirations to become a co-pope, by all means, don't let me stop you. Our currently only pope, Mikey B, aka Koopa, and again, I just have to reiterate that the animal I assign you has nothing to do with the level, the tier that you're at. But Koopa, you're gonna get a dolphin with a jetpack. And it has, dolphin's got like robotic arms. We've actually taught him how to play your favorite game currently, Dice Throne Adventures. So you can sit down with your dolphin. He can breathe outside the tank for at least 20 minutes. He's a mammal. So please enjoy. I mean, those of you who got a bug, I'm sure that you can put your bug on your favorite board game and enjoy that with your bug. The dolphin is actually going to move cards and pieces around with its robotic arms. Please enjoy. Are you sad because your name was not mentioned in this video? It could be because you're not yet a backer of Knights Around a Table. You haven't joined my illustrious crew of wonderful people. Now you may be wondering, what is the point? Why would I send you any money? Well, what I'm offering is not only behind the scenes videos, most of which are blooper reels. I mean, I am offering that, but that's not why you would back me. And I will soon be getting into offering custom 3D models of cool parts that you can print out for your board game collection. But that's not why you would back me either. Is it that when you sign up, I may write a poem about you? No, that's not it. And it's not because we have a really banging, amazing community of people on the Discord server who look forward to getting up every single day and say hello to each other and good morning, and then they arrange games to play with each other on online services like Board Game Arena or Boîte à Jeux. It's not because of that. No, actually, it is because of that. It is because of that community. That is the whole reason. They're absolutely wonderful people. You will definitely find friends to play games with in this group. Like I say, you don't have to be a backer to jump onto the Discord server, but if you are a backer, your name will be in a different color. And can you really put a value to that? In fact, you can. And all the numbers are there on the Patreon campaign. Thank you so much to all my backers. Sorry it's taken me this long to acknowledge and recognize you. I'm going to try to do this thing more regularly. Please, if you'd like to support a dyed-in-the-wool creative guy like me who has trouble getting along in the traditional workforce because he doesn't play well with others and refuses to wear pants, then check out my Patreon campaign. There's lots of cool stuff in there, and I would really appreciate your support. I'll see you all in the Knights Around the Table Discord server. Thank you for watching this nonsense, and I'll catch you in the next one. Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey, to 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe, and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.